Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I would like to present my abstract. The title is An Analysis of Extrinsic Elements in Sandra Cisneros' The House on Mango Street. Abstract. The scholarly inquiry examines the extrinsic determinants of Sandra Cisneros' The House on Mango Street, specifically investigating how the author's personality, history, and socio-biographical background mediate her narrative voice, utilizing a rigorous qualitative methodology based on close reading and biographical criticism. The study explores Cisneros' upbringing in Chicago and her transformative encounter with academic hegemony at the Iowa City graduate program in 1997 and 7. The analysis reveals that the occurrence she encountered in Alice Space catalyzed the development of anti-academic and anti-poetic voice, rooted in the life reality of working class Chicano life. Her history of frequent residing interval flight on Loomis, Killer, and Paulina contrasts sharply with the House of Memory concept idealized in traditional Western literature. Furthermore, the finding highlight how her professional practice as a teacher for high school dropouts transitioned her demonstrate that Cisneros' identity is fundamentally woven into the novel's portrayal of contrast, isolation, and the reclamation of a marginalized spatial polity. And then introduction. The scholarly investigation of literary text necessitates a rigorous examination of extrinsic elements to fully decode the authorial consciousness. Such extrinsic factors encompass the biological trajectory, socio-mnemonic milieu, and cultural heritage that inform the creative process. Sandra Cisneros remains a pivotal figure in contemporary Chicano letters, fundamentally bridging the gap between marginalized experience and academic recognition. reclamation of identity. The novel functions not merely as fiction, but as a socio-biographical artifact reflecting the struggle of the urban working class. The concept of otherness serves as a central analytical lens for understanding the extrinsic pressure of Cisneros' writing. During her formative graduate years, she encountered a profound sense of cultural displacement within human hegemony education sector. This period was marked by a realization that her house of memory didn't align with the democratic ideals of the American literary canon. The friction between her Chicago upbringing and the elite graduate seminar in Iowa became a catalyst for her own unique poetic voice. Cisneros felt a silent born of shame, realizing that the literature she studies proposes an experience that includes her own story. The resulting narrative version was a deliberate response to the institutional exclusion. By examining the autobiography, we can identify the real world and cause for the fictional environment on Mingo's track. This research priorities the link between the author's residential stability and the protagonist's parents' search for a real house. Such an approach validates the use of biographical crediting as a tool for interpreting the text social legal way. The transition from a personal memoir to collective story represents a significant evaluation in Cisneros' authorial practice. Her move with high school jobs and Latina studies expanded the manuscript scope toward a commonwealth celebration of otherness. This article argues the novel is a testament to the power of naming one's own reality. Through this reclaiming, the author transforms individual trauma into a shared literary legacy. The following section will detail the methodology in finding that support this social biographical synthesis. Ultimately, the study provides a comprehensive mapping of the literary markers to define canon masterpiece. And then, research methodology. This study employs a qualitative descriptive approach to analyze the extrinsic elements extract the compartment and self-profit. Instead of numeric data, this method focuses on post-examination of text, dialogue, and authorial reflection. The focus remains the nuance of the author voice and graphical markers found in primarily source document. And then research finding. Sandra Cisneros was born in Chicago on December 1954 into a family of 7 children. She was a third child and officially the only daughter of a Mexican father and a Mexican-American mother. This unique position within the hierarchy had a big and profound
Lagi dan lagi dong.
The family resided characterized by frequent mobility, various neighborhoods. Before relocating to Mango Street, the family lived on Loomis, typically clear floors flat, where the streets were the record of fine soul and were shared with the public. A fundamental event occurred when a nun from her school passed the Loomis flat and expressed disdain for its appearance. The nun's judgmental inquiry, "You live there?" Till a deep sense of shame and otherness in the young anthem. And then a research analysis. The extrinsic data regarding Cisneros being the only daughter among 7 children directly informs the novel themes of gender isolation. In the text, Esperanza describes herself as a bell tied to an anchor, a metaphor for her separation from the brotherhood. This isolation is rooted in the author's reluctance of being the sole female voice in a male-dominated household. The gender expression of her Mexican-American heritage acts a powerful incidental force on the narrative structure. The frequent moves between Loomis, Hillier, and Paulina are translated into the unstable, temporary setting of Mango Street. Each address in the author's life represented a state that was not quite buried in the novel. The house on Mango Street is described as small and weak, with crumbling bricks and windows that hold their weight. This reflects the author's own frustration with the life of the American dream she encountered during her Cisneros' career with high school dropouts and Latino studies transferred the book for transform a memory into a communicative. The stories she encountered were constantly surfaced in the narrative, allowing her to edit, change, and shift the past. This is why the novel concludes with a promise to return for the one who cannot help. The historic influence of her professional pursuits provided the moral imperatives for the collective voice. Ultimately, the novel serves as a bridge between the intimate kitchen table and the public academic space. In conclusion, the house Mango State remains a vital text because it anchored in the author's authentic extrinsic realities of its excerpt. It serves as a powerful reminder that literature can be a tool for social change and personal liberation. Through this work, this book has successfully created a space where the marginalized voice is not only heard, but is recognized as a cornerstone of the American literary canon. Is that for me? Any question?
No.
Okay, I close my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.